You're listening to Sunroot Sessions, a space for grounded healing and everyday wisdom. I'm your host, Sam, medical astrologer and TCM student practitioner, helping you reconnect with your body, your rhythm, and your roots. This is where ancient traditions meet modern life. Before we begin, if you enjoy the space, don't forget to follow the podcast so you never miss a session. Let's dive right in. Hey, welcome back to the show. Today's topic is an interesting one. Today we're talking about fatigue. You know that feeling when you wake up na parang hindi ka natulog, alam mo yun, waking up like you're still very much tired. Like your body's awake but your spirit parang buffering pa. That's where a lot of us live. Now, we think tired means one thing, kulang lang sa tulog. But here's the truth. Tired is layered. There's the obvious tiredness, the physical sleepiness that, alam mo yun, yung my eyes are heavy, I can't keep them open type. But then there's the mental tired, that fogginess, the can't focus, can't think, that kind of tired. And then you have emotional tiredness, the I've cared too much, I've worried too long type. That's the one that feels like you're dragging an invisible weight. But the deepest kind of tired is when your life force itself feels low. That's not about hours of sleep, that's about the quality of your energy. In TCM, we'd call this a chi imbalance. If you're just discovering the show now or you missed last week's episode, I talked about chi last week. Give episode 5 a listen. To review, chi is your energy currency. It flows through channels in the body. And when it's blocked, stuck, or leaking, your whole system feels depleted. Kaya minsan kahit tulog ka for 8 hours, you still wake up feeling drained. Now, medical astrology looks at this symbolically. The sun in your chart, either your natal chart or a transit chart or whatever it is, represents vitality. It's your inner battery. When it's strong, you shine. When it's under stress, your energy dims. The moon distributes that life force. It reflects rhythm, cycles. When it's unstable, energy feels scattered. And then you've got Saturn. Saturn is that wall of heaviness. It teaches us our limits. When we push too far, Saturn is what makes us collapse. Now, even if you don't believe in astrology, these symbols still make sense, di ba? The sun is vitality, moon, rhythm, Saturn, limits. So when you say, quote unquote, I'm tired, what you might really be saying is my battery is low, my rhythm is off, or I've been ignoring my limits. And unless we look deeper, we'll keep telling ourselves, I just need more sleep. When what we really need is to recharge on an entirely different level. So let's get practical. Why are we always tired? The easy answer, kulang ka lang sa tulog. But we know that's not the full story. From a TCM lens, two systems are big players here. The spleen and the kidneys. The spleen in TCM isn't just about digestion, it's about transforming food into usable energy, or yung chi. When the spleen is weak, food doesn't become fuel efficiently. So kahit busog ka, parang wala ka pa ring lakas. I know you know this feeling. Yung kakatapos mo lang kumain, tapos ang sarap humiga or magnap. Right. Stop blaming carbs. It's not the carbs, it's your spleen. Then you've got the kidneys. They're seen as the root of vitality. They store our life essence. Think of it like your deep reserves. Chronic stress, overwork, overdoing anything, everything, drains kidney energy. That's why stress leaves people feeling tired in the bones, yung nanunuot na pagod. Now, astrology has a parallel take. The sun is metabolism, When Saturn weighs on it, your energy feels like it's capped. Mars is drive, our motivation. When Mars is weak, it's like your starter engine won't turn. But let's bring it back to daily life. Fatigue comes from poor quality sleep, not just hours, but the depth, nutrient poor diets, eating plenty but not feeding the cells, overstimulation, constant notifications, doom scrolling, and then you've got the emotional heaviness, grief, worry, overthinking. Holistically, pagod is not just one thing. It's usually a combination of energy leaks and energy misuse. Sometimes you're leaking energy through unresolved emotions, poor boundaries, toxic environments. Hello, sino tinatamaan? Sino tinatamaan dyan? And sometimes you're blocking energy through stagnation, lack of movement, and sitting all day. Yan, dito ako sa poll sa sitting all day. And sometimes you're just overspending energy, grinding harder than your body can replenish, or as my professor, Dr. Francisco Navarro, puts it, load versus capacity. Think of energy like money. Are you broke because you didn't earn enough, or because you spent recklessly and never invested wisely? That's the real question. Here's something we rarely think about. Tiredness has timing. It shows up in patterns. Ever noticed some people are fine in the morning but crash every afternoon around 2 or 3? Others are zombies when they wake up, but alive and buzzing by midnight. In TCM, that's not random. The body has a clock. Every 2 hours, a different organ system is most active. For example, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. is lung time. If you always wake up then, it might signal grief or weak lungs. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., that's the bladder's time. Many people hit a slump there, reflecting how their body processes fluids and energy. Your slump's timing tells a story. Astrology also sees cycles. The moon waxes and wanes. Some people feel drained at the new moon, like energies being pulled inward. Others feel fatigue when Saturn makes strong transits, a season of heaviness. Now, even if you skip the astrology, the lesson is clear, diba? Your energy has rhythms. Hindi ka kasi robot, diba? So the key is awareness. Notice the quote-unquote when. When do you feel heavy? When do you feel awake? Patterns are not accidents. They're signposts. And I've been saying this since the second episode. Once you track them, you stop blaming yourself. You realize, oh, this isn't weakness. This is rhythm. And rhythm can be worked with. Here's the thing about burnout. It doesn't hit like lightning. It creeps up on you. And your body, it always whispers first before it starts screaming. But we're trained to ignore those whispers. Kasi the whispers sound like this. Needing coffee just to be able to think or to function. Sino yun? Brain fog after even light work. Snapping at small annoyances, guilty as charged. Before my CHF diagnosis, I was this. I snapped at every little thing. Or yung wala kang gana kahit for Netflix and chill. That kind of feeling. Those are all the whispers or types of whispers. In TCM, this is your chi raising the red flag. It's not fully replenishing. If you push through, the imbalance digs deeper, draining kidney essence. That's the kind of depletion that takes months, even years, to rebuild. Astrology paints this with Saturn. Saturn is the teacher of limits. When Saturn energy is strong, life feels heavy, slow, restricted. That heaviness, it's not a curse. It's a message. Stop or I'll stop you. So how do you actually listen? That's the real question, diba? Track your micro fatigue moments. Notice when your focus slips, when your eyes sting, when your mood dips without reason. Those are mini check engine lights. Small signals that, if honored, they prevent a full crash. Honestly, the bravest people aren't the ones who grind until they collapse. They're the ones who say, "Nope, I hear the whisper, and so I'll adjust now." Prevention will always be kinder than recovery. So start listening earlier. Don't wait now for the screams. So now let's talk solutions, right? Because yes, tiredness is complex. But no, it's not hopeless. There's no magic pill, but there are shifts that over time transform fatigue into vitality. From TCM, the first shift is about food. Support your spleen by eating warm, cooked meals. Soups, stews, grains, so congee, pho, these are fantastic for the spleen. Cold salads and smoothies may look quote unquote healthy, but they can weaken spleen chi if overdone. Second, protect your kidneys. Rest before you're completely depleted. Balance effort with restoration. Say no. Guard your reserves. Third, work with your body clock. Be asleep before 11 p.m. when the liver and gallbladder recharge. Night owls often borrow tomorrow's energy and pay the debt later. From medical astrology, the advice aligns. Honor your sun, your core battery. Do things that make you feel alive, like movement, sunlight, creativity, or creative endeavors. Balance your moon is another one. So, your rhythms. Keep constant routines. Respect your sleep wake cycles. Respect Saturn, the boundary setter. Don't overload your schedule. Structure your energy the way you budget money. And then you have the basics, but deeper. So, hydrate. But sip warm water instead of shocking your system with ice. Move every day, not to punish your body, but to circulate chi. Practice energy hygiene. Say no to environments, people, and digital noise that drain you. Here's the truth. Energy is like an economy. You can invest it wisely, you can spend it recklessly, or you can let others drain your account. When you begin honoring your rhythms, supporting your organ systems, and respecting the limits your body gives you, you stop living on low battery mode. And instead, you start feeling full. Not just surviving, but truly alive. Thanks for tuning in to Sunroot Sessions. If today's episode helped you feel seen, grounded, or just a little more curious, share it with someone who needs it. You can also book a session with me or join our growing community via the links in the description. Until next time, stay rooted, stay radiant.